Alright, let's dive into something that's been making headlines recently: WestJet flight attendants going on strike. Now, on the surface, this might seem like just another labor dispute, but personally, I think there's a lot more to unpack here. What makes this really interesting is the ripple effect it has on thousands of travelers, essentially leaving them stranded. It's not just about the flight attendants and their demands, it's about the broader impact on the travel industry and, frankly, on people's lives. I mean, think about it: you plan a trip, maybe for work, maybe for a family vacation, and suddenly, everything's up in the air. Literally. From my perspective, this strike is a perfect example of how interconnected our systems are. One group's decision to stand up for their rights can have far-reaching consequences. What many people don't realize is that these strikes often aren't just about wages or benefits, they're about working conditions, job security, and sometimes, even safety. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just a local issue, it's a reflection of larger trends in the airline industry. Airlines have been under immense pressure, especially post-pandemic, and that stress trickles down to the people on the front lines, like flight attendants. One thing that immediately stands out is the timing of this strike. It's not like these issues popped up overnight. So, why now? In my opinion, it's a combination of pent-up frustration and a sense of urgency. Workers feel like they've been pushed to the brink, and they're saying, enough is enough. But here's the thing: strikes are always a last resort. No one wants to disrupt their own livelihood or inconvenience others. What this really suggests is that negotiations broke down, and the flight attendants felt they had no other choice. That's a powerful statement, and it raises a deeper question: how did we get to this point? A detail I find fascinating is how quickly the impact of this strike became visible. Within hours, social media was flooded with stories of stranded passengers, cancelled flights, and general chaos. It's a stark reminder of how reliant we are on air travel. But it also highlights the lack of contingency plans. I mean, airlines know strikes are a possibility, right? So, why weren't there better systems in place to minimize the disruption? Personally, I think this is where the real conversation should be, not just about the strike itself, but about the systemic issues that allowed it to cause such widespread chaos. If you think about it, this situation also sheds light on the power dynamics between employers and employees. Strikes are one of the few tools workers have to negotiate for better conditions, but they come at a cost. For the flight attendants, it's a risky move. They're not just fighting for themselves, they're fighting for future workers too. What makes this even more complex is the public's reaction. Some people are sympathetic, while others are frustrated, and that divide is worth exploring. It's not just about who's right or wrong, it's about understanding the stakes for everyone involved. In my opinion, this strike is more than just a news story, it's a case study in labor rights, corporate responsibility, and the fragility of our travel systems. It forces us to ask, are we prioritizing profits over people? And if so, what are the long-term consequences? I don't have all the answers, but I do think this is a moment for reflection. For the travelers stranded, for the flight attendants on the picket line, and for the airline industry as a whole. What this really suggests is that we need to rethink how we approach these issues, not just react to them. So, here's my closing thought: strikes like this are messy, inconvenient, and often divisive, but they're also necessary. They force us to confront the cracks in our systems and the imbalances in power. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to keep patching things up, or are we going to work toward real, lasting change? Personally, I hope it's the latter. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about WestJet or its flight attendants, it's about all of us and the kind of world we want to live in.